The national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, has called on the party's 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, Abure State Governor Alex Otti, and other disenchanted members to reconcile and return to the party. This is according to the Punch newspaper. Now, Abure sought to address internal discord stemming from his re-election at a controversial convention in Nnewi, which some party stakeholders criticized as not being inclusive. This dispute led Obi, Otti, and other party figures to establish a 29-member caretaker committee in July, chaired by former Finance Minister Nnamdi Usman, to oversee a fresh round of elections for party executives.
Now, however, of course, you might recall that a federal high court ruling in Abuja upheld Abure as a legitimate national chairman. It has intensified efforts to mend fences with the aggrieved party members. It says, in quote, that there is no more crisis in the party, insisting that the court had resolved the leadership dispute. Now, joining us is the Lagos State spokesperson for the Labour Party, Ife Salako. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you. Great. Good to see you.
Yeah. Let's start with the perceived crisis in the party. The court ruling has once again declared Julius Abure as a leader of the party. You know, does it stay like that? Or do we expect that it would still be challenged? Is he recognized across the party as the leader?
Well, the thing about the leadership of any group is whatever happens, I mean, we had election in this country, and at the end of the day, the courts declared that, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president, and he's still the president. So there is nothing more. I keep saying it here that everybody that I know and that I respect in the Labour Party are law-abiding citizens, of Nigeria. And so when the court rules, we stay with the court ruling. So as it is, I mean, there is nothing anybody can do about it, whether you like it or not. At the moment, Abure remains the legitimate chairman of the Labour Party.
So if Julius Abure remains the legitimate chairman of the Labour Party, what then becomes of the moves that have been made? For example, the caretaker committee chaired by Senator Nnamdi Usman, does it still stand? Especially because, if you recall, Julius Abure kicked against it and he did not endorse it at all. So what then becomes of that committee?
Well, so, I mean, whether they like it or not, if Abure, for example, remains, the chairman of the party, which cannot be forever. There has to still be some people that will still look at this whole thing and say, okay, at this point, we still need to get to, find a way to resolve the internal crisis of the party. So the committee, as it were, will still exist. They will still continue to do their own thing. But it is, and like it was said, it's not like they, relinquishes the existing executive of the party. It was just pretty much come together, resolve this crisis, and let's find a way forward. And at the time, we must note that, INEC was not even recognizing Abure as the legitimate chairman of the party. So it was, a bit of, we're looking for solution on this side. There should be another way to look at it. But the court has come to say, okay, Abure remains the chairman of the party, and that's what is, obtainable right now.
So yes, the court has, stated that he is the chairman.
Yeah.
But again, I'm asking about the grievances within the party.
Yeah.
Where are we with that? Do the people, Alex Otis and the likes, still have the same challenge that they had with Julius Abure?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's still, when things like this happen, not until everybody comes to the table and begin to, put these issues on the table and start dissecting it one after the other to find a way, and then to find a new path at which we'll all move ahead from. So there's still some bit of I'm not agreeing with you here, you're not agreeing with me there, but one of the things that I would like to point out is the fact that even for someone like Governor Alex Otti, who had gone ahead, allegedly to, run a local government election, with his loyal candidates under another umbrella of another party, under the umbrella of another party. Yeah. He goes on to say that, I mean, there's not too much of your own integrity. I did say before the election that I was looking forward to seeing if Alex Otti was going to have a free and fair local government election. right? Because you see, the reality of it is that presently in Nigeria, there is no local government election, as it were. It is usually the governors that just decide who they want to lead at the different local level, which doesn't actually truly represent, what we call a democracy in Nigeria. So if Alex Oti is on one side, taking members of the Labour Party to a different party for them to run, for a local government election, what is the difference? What is he fighting for? What is he standing for? Really. So, well, the issues are still there, but I know that at some point everybody will come to the table and we'll know where we're going to.
All right, speaking of everybody coming to the table, you can't move forward without resolving the current crisis. And also get asked if the issues that OT and all the other party members had against him were still valid. One of the complaints that was leveled against Julius Abure was by the former National Treasurer, Oluchi Okpara, who had spoken about him trying to induce her with a car, the allegations of bribery. And all those allegations, yes, they may have defended or disputed them. But will these allegations be investigated? And if these allegations are to be investigated, who will investigate it? A party cannot be a judge in his own cause. Julius Abure cannot leave the party and also investigate himself. So what will the Labour Party do about investigating these allegations, or will they even be investigated at all?
Well, I mean, that will be left to the National Executive Council of the party. Largely, they are the ones that have the power to say, the chairman, come and give us account, as to what you have done and, what you have, how you have spent the money and all of that. So it will be the derogatory of the National Executive Council of the party. But while at that, right, one of the problems of Labour Party right now and all this old leadership Buhari is because there's not been proper progress and structure of the party from the grassroots. So the party was existing like every other party before the arrival of Peter Obi, like we all know. And then now it is more structured in a way that almost everybody at different levels, from the state to the local government and even the ward level, are all appointed executives, except for Abure and some of the executives who were at the party before the arrival of His Excellency. So quite a number of people there are just on appointment. So what can really structure and bring a proper sanity to this whole thing is for us to have a Congress at the ward level, take it from the ward level to the local government level, take it to the states, right? And then we will now have a robust national convention. Abure could emerge from that convention and be retained as the chairman. And that way, you don't need the courts at that point to authenticate anything. It is, everybody sees that. But the problem is that everybody knows right now that, including myself sitting here, is an appointment. We're all on appointment. We need to go back and do the right thing from the grassroots, all the Congress, from the ward level to the local governments to the states, and then we have a robust national convention, and everybody is fine. So it is a technical issue right now that has to be dealt with carefully. And I know political office holders, they are also very careful to say, I go into Congress, I may lose my position. So it's the same way that you may be looking at some things at the higher level, maybe at the National Assembly or where they would want to also vet the right thing, all because they know that it may affect them. But one way or the other, we know we will get to that point, and it must be done.
Yeah. So I mean, the crisis in the party, I believe I can say that, has lasted quite a while.
Yeah.
How badly do you think it has affected the party? And do you think that there would, Labour Party will ever be able to find its, strong footing again like it did in 2023 during the elections? If you look at what happened in Edo State, your candidates, I don't know what word to describe, the turnout, for him. Pretty much the same thing in Ondo State's elections. Is Labour Party, back to where it was prior to 2023?
Right. So, for the presidential election, it will be a different ballgame entirely. And the reason is because we've seen it in the past. I mean, it's the presidential election in Nigeria. It's usually magical the way it sparks, different kind of fires and all. But the party itself, right, will need to do a lot to gain the trust of the people.
Julius Abure was he in Benin for your candidate?
He wasn't. I mean,
was he in Ondo for your candidate?
Well, I mean, it's all of these are relative. I mean, it wasn't. It's not because other parties do it. Because we find parties, going up and down to say this is my candidate. You have to vote for him. It shows the spirit of the camaraderie spirit. But I mean, we are one and we are supporting each other. But it does not necessarily interpret to whether you're going to win election or not. Really, in the sense of it, right? So. I mean, making it look like whether it was there or not.
If your own party's leadership doesn't come to support you, why should anybody vote for you?
Well, I mean, it's because my party leadership, their job literally almost end at the time that I get my ticket at the primary level. That is what the party is supposed to do, to look for the right candidates, take them through the preliminary exercise of coming out to contest. And when it is done, I go on the field to contest with other candidates. I mean, these are not things that are common in developed countries where you find the chairman of the party. You even at least sometimes know who these people are.
Right.
So it's not really, but that it is a thing for us in this part of the world does not interpret to winning election. I understand the fact that, okay, of course you're part of this party, you should come out and support the party and work for the party. It is at the point I left Lagos when I was in my former party. I left Lagos, I went to Osun State to support a candidate. I was there for like 4 days. It is by choice.
It's not mandatory.
It is not mandatory.
Right. Yeah. However, we can't deny the fact that it has become the norm. It's like an unwritten norm where even we see the vice president still travel to support party representatives who are running for office. But let's move away from the conversation and quickly, as much as we can, Peter Obi. It's not possible to talk about the Labour Party without talking about Peter Obi. Julius Abure has said they cannot come back. And we're wondering, did they ever leave the party in the first place?
Well,
so, we haven't really heard much about Peter Obi's stance, and, we're wondering what his position is or might be regarding all that's been going on with the Labour Party and the projections for 2020.
So when I saw the headline, Abure invites Peter Obi, Alex Abure to come back to the party. I think it was a statement that was misconstrued because Peter Obi, Alex Oti never left the party. Right? I think that statement would be for the likes of Balami, the likes of Okonkwo, who had declared that they are leaving the party, that it is now time for them to come back to the party. His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi had never at any point in time, up until this moment, say that, I am no longer a member of the party. Even if he had gone to have a breakfast with,
Alhaji
Atiku Abubakar, we know that, it was just on the invitation for him to, present a speech at the university. But Mr. Peter Obi, Governor Alex Oti, as I speak right now, and as much as I know, and as much as we all know, they are still very much members and strong representative of the Labour Party right now.
I think that
is not where I'm going. Is that statement is not directly for Peter Obi and the likes of the people that we think. It is for those people that have declared that they are not interested in the party anymore. It is time for them to come back.
And you think that they'll be willing to accept the leadership of Julius Abure?
Well, also whether they will be willing to accept. You see, that you want to accept the leadership of a particular person or not does not really interpret to how much you're committed to the cause of the party. If you are in the party, it's like our schools, maybe our alumni schools. You will be there. Sometimes they may appoint somebody that you don't like to be the leader of the school. Would you say, oh, I'm no longer a member of this school because, you would be there. You will fight the cause. You will stay there and say, yes, this is what we want. This is the right thing. Fight the cause while you are there. Don't go outside and start saying that, oh, you don't want because of the leadership.
Yeah.
Would you stop being in Nigeria because President Tinubu is president of Nigeria? You don't like him?
But we can't not point out the obvious crisis that the party has faced in the last couple of months.
Absolutely.
You've had Kenneth Okonkwo, break out and completely, speak against the party. Donyo Kupe is practically supporting, President, Tinubu at this point. Thaddeus Atta, your Etiosa local government representative, is wearing the president's insignia on his head. I mean, how do you have a party that you still claim to be seemingly put together with all these factors here and there? Your elections in the last, 2 state elections you've had have been the poorest that we've seen in a long time.
Well, so let's not forget that the Labour Party is like a renewed, party. It's just coming back together. See, this party is too young for us to expect that we're just going to, start living and start exploiting all of the, putting everything together. No, we would get there. There would always be this crisis. The established parties, as we know them, they have their crisis right now. And they may not be pronounced, but we know that the Labour Party's own will be pronounced. But we would get to resolve all of them and we would move past them.
All right, Ife Salako, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you the best and we wish the Labour Party all the best.
The Labour Party remains one family.
Okay, if you say so. All right.